Hello, my The Unseen Influence Report family. Thank you for joining me once again. Today's story isn't just about China, and it isn't just about America. It's about a technological rivalry that's redefining the global balance of power. So, let's begin. For decades, the United States has led the world in technological innovation, from Silicon Valley to the world's most advanced semiconductor companies. America built an ecosystem that powered the modern digital age. But over the last few years, one country has been closing the gap faster than anyone expected. That country is China. Washington believed it had a strategy to slow China's rise, restrict advanced technology, block access to cutting-edge AI chips, blacklist Chinese companies, and convince allies to do the same. On paper, the strategy looked almost impossible to fail. If China couldn't buy the world's most advanced technology, then surely its technological progress would slow down. At least, that was the expectation. But history has a strange way of surprising everyone. Sometimes, pressure doesn't weaken a rival. Sometimes, it forces that rival to become stronger. And that may be exactly what happened. Everything changed in 2019 when the United States placed Huawei on its entity list. The decision shocked the global technology industry. Huawei suddenly lost access to critical American technologies, including Google's mobile services and key semiconductor suppliers. Around the world, many analysts believed Huawei had reached the beginning of the end. Its smartphone sales declined, its international business faced enormous challenges, and many believed China's biggest technology champion would never recover. But behind the headlines, something completely different was taking place. Instead of accepting defeat, China changed its strategy. Instead of depending on foreign technology, it decided to build its own. Billions of dollars began flowing into semiconductor research, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, advanced manufacturing, and domestic software development. The goal was no longer to catch up with America. The goal became something much bigger: technological independence. Huawei became the symbol of that transformation. The company accelerated the development of Harmony OS, expanded its own software ecosystem, invested heavily in AI research, and continued building technologies that reduced dependence on foreign suppliers. What was originally designed as economic pressure gradually became an incentive for faster domestic innovation. That doesn't mean the sanctions had no impact. They certainly created serious challenges. But they also forced Chinese companies to solve problems they had previously outsourced to global suppliers. In geopolitics, necessity often becomes the mother of innovation. And that's where this story becomes much bigger than Huawei. Because Huawei was never the real target. The real battle was always about controlling the technologies that will define the next generation of global power: artificial intelligence, advanced semiconductors, quantum computing, robotics, supercomputing. These aren't simply commercial industries anymore. They're becoming strategic assets, just like oil was during the 20th century. Whoever leads these technologies could influence military capabilities, economic competitiveness, cybersecurity, and even the future rules of the global digital economy. That's why this competition is no longer just about business. It's about national security. It's about economic leadership. And ultimately, it's about global influence. Then, in 2022, Washington made another major move. This time, the United States introduced sweeping export controls on advanced AI chips, particularly targeting the powerful processors designed by Nvidia. The objective was clear. Without access to the world's most advanced AI hardware, China's artificial intelligence development would slow dramatically. At first glance, the strategy appeared logical. Modern AI models require enormous computing power. Without high-end chips, training next-generation AI systems becomes significantly more difficult. But once again, China responded in a way many outside observers didn't fully anticipate. China didn't simply stop developing AI. Instead, it changed the way it was developing AI. Chinese companies began optimizing software to get more performance from fewer chips. Researchers shifted toward more efficient AI training methods, while domestic semiconductor companies accelerated efforts to close the hardware gap. At the same time, Beijing dramatically increased investment in its own semiconductor industry. This wasn't just about replacing American technology. It was about making sure China would never again be vulnerable to foreign restrictions. Then came another surprise. Chinese AI companies began releasing increasingly capable large language models at a pace that caught many investors and analysts off guard. Some models weren't necessarily more powerful than America's best systems, but they were significantly cheaper to train, cheaper to deploy, and in many cases, open for developers to modify and improve. That changed the conversation completely. For years, the AI race had been viewed as a competition based purely on who had the biggest computing power. Now, efficiency became just as important. And efficiency changes everything, because if one country can achieve similar results with fewer resources, the advantage of expensive hardware becomes much smaller than many expected. That's when investors around the world started asking a difficult question. Was this becoming another Sputnik moment? A moment when technological competition suddenly looked very different from what everyone had assumed? Whether that comparison is completely accurate remains open for debate. The United States still leads in many critical areas. Companies like Nvidia, Microsoft, Google, OpenAI, AMD, and dozens of American research institutions continue to dominate large parts of the global AI ecosystem. America still designs many of the world's most advanced AI chips. Its universities continue attracting top scientific talent. Its venture capital ecosystem remains unmatched. And its technology companies continue investing hundreds of billions of dollars into next-generation AI. So, saying America has already lost the AI race would simply be inaccurate. But saying China has become a serious technological competitor, that's no longer a prediction, it's reality. And perhaps that's the biggest lesson from this entire story. Competition doesn't always disappear because of pressure. Sometimes, pressure creates innovation. History has shown this pattern before. Countries facing restrictions often become more determined to build domestic industries. Japan experienced it. South Korea experienced it. Even the United States itself invested heavily in domestic innovation during periods of strategic competition. China now appears to be following a similar path. The real question isn't whether China will replace America tomorrow. The real question is, can two technological superpowers dominate the world at the same time? Because unlike the Cold War of the 20th century, this rivalry isn't divided by geography alone. It's divided by operating systems, AI models, semiconductor supply chains, cloud infrastructure, digital currencies, and competing visions for the future of technology itself. We're witnessing the birth of two parallel technology ecosystems, one largely centered around the United States, the other increasingly centered around China. Whichever ecosystem attracts more countries, more developers, more investment, and more innovation could shape the global economy for decades to come. And that's why this story is about far more than Huawei, far more than AI chips, and far more than one political decision. It's about who will define the next era of technological civilization. Will America's strategy ultimately preserve its technological leadership? Or will the pressure placed on China become the very force that accelerates its rise? The answer may define the balance of global power for the next generation. If you enjoyed this analysis, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the Unseen Influence Report, and share your thoughts in the comments. Because in geopolitics, today's headlines often become tomorrow's history, and we'll be here, analyzing every major move, every major rivalry, and every hidden influence that shapes our world. Until next time, take care.